Hello, we're sitting here today with Alberto Abella. Welcome, Alberto. You are an open data modeling expert at Fiware. Besides that, you've also been, as part of your academic research, been investigating the impact of open data and open government on society, and have also been appointed by DG Connect to assess projects for high-level policy discussions, and as well help with proposals of European startups with emerging digital business models. But within the domain of data spaces, you are mostly known for your role as an active driver for the smart data models.
Yeah.
So within the smart data models, you have been active in creating a lot of data models already across a lot of domains. My question to you would be, how do you make sure that they serve the needs of your stakeholders, and how do you ensure that they remain interoperable with other relevant standards?
Okay, I like very much that question, and let me point out, because smart data models are based on Agile Standardization, that on the contrary to classical standardization, we are not a group of experts that we meet and define the standard and then look for the users, but on the contrary, we are based on the user experience. So once the user has demonstrated that it is really working for a real case scenario, then we help them to formalize and to share it with an open license. Open license meaning that you can use it for free, you can customize to your needs, and you can share the modifications. So that way, we have the involvement of the stakeholders from the very beginning, because we are there. And the second point about the compatibility with with other standardization efforts, the point is, before accepting a new data model, we explore if there are open standards relevant to this. Open standards in the same sense, so that you have free use, free customization, and free sharing, which is not the case of most standardization bodies, because they make it public, but you have to pay, and you cannot take the content and create the derivative work. So imagine that we find out this standard, which is open, then we reject. So we say, there is a standard. We don't have resources for re-implementing something. But if it is not the case, we create that and we help to disseminate to others so more people can align with this since the very beginning, and with an advantage, because we are very quick on making changes. So since the moment that we accept the standard, possibly in a week, you have the standard published in 8 languages with a lot of exports on a lot of new formats for adopting the standard, which is not the usual way that you have standardization bodies that they take 18, 24, 66 months, which is in the data era, in the AI era, is something unbearable.
It's quite slow in terms of progress.
Yes. Yeah. ChatGPT has been launched to the public 20 months ago. 20 months. Imagine that you are creating a standard in 24 months. There is a new era. Makes no sense. And I don't want to mean that we have to remove the standardization bodies. No, on the contrary. We have to keep it, but we have to, on top of that, put some agile standardization efforts, because otherwise the market will constantly get you outdated.
Yeah. In terms of, because of the bottom-up approach that you describe here compared to like a top-bottom approach, does that help to increase the rate of adoption? Because I know that you are very opinionated on you can make as many standards as you want. If nobody uses them, then they are not really relevant. Is that something that helps the smart data models because it goes bottom-up?
Yes, and anyhow, even if the answer is yes, we also struggle because as being open, we don't have much visibility about who is adopting. And it's quite remarkable that we go to any weird place in the world and we try to explain, what is the smart data models? And they, no, I'm already using. And you see, this person or this group or this organization has never contacted us.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately, when you are open, you don't have that control. And therefore, you don't have that control. There are many people about the community that you can profit from, but you don't know. And we are basically one of our main lines of work, which is how can we not only engage, because we get the engagement and we get lots of contributions, But how can we know where is it and how can we demonstrate? We have been adopted by Amazon in the Gartner framework. Microsoft has taken some of our data models and put into the digital twins description language. Atos is for the urban data platform. The government of India, the government of Colombia, okay, I know that, but who else?
Yeah.
And I don't have the comprehensive list.
I feel like you have a bit of the same issue as open data and open government in general. If you make everything open, but people don't let you know that they're actively using it, how can you show people that what you're doing is valuable, and how can you show to people that it's worth spending time and resources into this exercise?
That's again, there's very good questions. We have some, because when you are creating the models or when you are extending, then the collaboration is very close, and we keep all these contacts. So I'm saying, oh, we are missing most of the users, but even with that, we have hundreds of users and hundreds of contributors, and more than 100 organizations contributing. So we have a large community, but we have also the perception and some hints that there is much larger. And how to deal with both approaches is something that we occupied our mind, and we struggle, and we try to benchmarking with other similar initiatives how to deal with it. But to be honest, I'm not satisfied yet about this management.
What challenges do you see ahead when data spaces would try to adopt your standards? Like what will you need to help them with?
Oh, there is a very first point. So most of the information that is going to the data spaces has not a semantic description. So we have some facilities that even if you don't have that information, we have a smart data models, which is a Python package that help you out on creating a draft of the data model that you can use for the cataloging data spaces. This is, from my point of view, I don't want to mean dramatic, but it's very relevant. An example, in the data space for mobility, 50% of the data sources has no standard. Therefore, if you put that into a catalog, it will hardly be used because you don't know what is the structure, what is the content. And if you have to pay, I don't know if people will pay for something which is not very good described. We provide facilities, and I guess that this is our main role, to be in the building block of data spaces, helping to those data models which are not properly with a semantic description. It does not mean, because the smart data models can be mapped to any ontology. So if you are using other ontologies and you are willing to use the smart data models, you can use it, but with an advantage. So because we are very agile on extending our data models, which is not the case usually to ontologies. In ontology, oh, I want to change this, and maybe in 6 months I will give you an extended version. For us, extending a data model could take 1-2 days, which makes you feasible to participate into a data space with a proper semantic description.
Usage of AI, we already briefly touched upon it. Is this revolutionizing the creation of data models? And if so, what do you still think that needs to happen to even leverage the power of AI even more for semantic interoperability as a whole?
Yeah, we have a documented plan on how to use AI for the smart data. There are basically 3 lines. The first line is to help the users and contributors, to provide support, to provide, let's say, explanations about what you need, how to use it and whatever with LLMs. This is one point. There is another point which is about testing. Whenever you are contributing, there are many things that you can be tested, can be checked, other standards and so on. This is the second line. And the third line is proactive. So currently we are reacting to the large amount of people who are willing to contribute, which is very nice. But even with that, thanks to AI and to AI agents, we could find out other semantic sources that can be mapped into smart data models and eventually be transformed, not automatically, but mostly automatically thanks to AI. So with these 3 lines, we expect in the next 12 months to be much more operative and reducing, let's say, the human intervention. So we are not here for reducing humans, but we are here for making things quick, because we have to be adapted to the market, not because we want to be quick. This is not the point. The point is to be adapted to the market. So if you need to remove human intervention because it's costly and slow, we have to do it, because otherwise you are not matching the needs, and if you are matching the needs, what you are here for.
Could it be leveraged, as we talked before, for the adoption as well? Because, for example, I know that the smart data models are available in some languages, more than most other standards. Is that something that you would like to see, that smart data models are available in all EU languages or in any list of a lot of languages?
Yes, and this is a very remarkable point, because our point is to remove adoption barriers, which is, let me criticize a bit our community of semantics. It's not in the mindset of most of the people. So you have to reduce any barrier. If the language is a barrier, and now thanks to technology, we can have 8 languages, and we don't have more languages because we have not detected the need. We can extend it to another 23 and possibly all of the official languages of the European Union, but we have also Chinese, Korean, and Japanese. So many others could be there. This is one barrier. There are other barriers, which are the formats. Why do you have to have your data models in just a semantic source like RDF, which is not the most adopted in the private market? Let's make exports. This is possible, and this is possible thanks to technology. For us, since the moment that you have the go to the moment that you have all the exports, all the examples in different formats, all the specifications, takes from 6 to 8 minutes. Minutes. So if you have a new version, we click the button, and then 6 to 8 minutes you have everything updated. So we have to reduce any barrier. Language is a barrier, remove. Export formats are a barrier, removed. In fact, we are proud to say that we are a semantic initiative for non-semantics. So what we want to cooperate with us, and it's the usual case, are domain experts. And if you're a domain expert, you don't have to be a data modeling expert. This is not your goal. Your goal is to know, let me put an example, marine transport logistics. I have no idea about this, okay? But these people are very expert. Oh, you have to create this. So what are you doing? Oh, I see, it's working. So why don't you put that? Okay, but based on reality and based on the knowledge. So we have no knowledge, and we are proud of being ignorant on most of the things that we are modeling.
Yeah. In removing barriers, as a closing question to you, how can SEMIC help with that, with removing those barriers, and what should it focus on to make it happen?
If I had the precise answer to this, I won't be here, I will be managing SEMIC. Now, there are some points. First point is adoption. For me, it drives me crazy that you have to check for adoption. You are creating lots of... The point is not creating standards. The point is these standards to be adopted. And if they are not adopted, we have to look for the causes. And there is what I call the onion effect. So, what's the problem of this? Exports, and then you peel the onion and you discover a new layer. And so we know that the format is a barrier. Sure. You discover that there is not enough SEO dissemination. So you have to discover what can be done. SEMIC, trying to find out these barriers and peeling one after the other. And I like to tell you, use artificial intelligence will help. Definitely. How? We have to explore it.
Yeah.
This is one thing. And the other is focusing on adoption, finding the solutions. And the third point is to have an active community and allowing the participation. There are many smart people around there that can help.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alberto, to take the time to sit down with us.
Thank you very much to you. I hope that you visit smartdatamodels.org very soon. Thank you.